Hello there. Welcome everyone back to Technovangelist Vlog. Well, does it count as a vlog if I only update it it's definitely not every day. But anyway, the Technovangelist Vlog, and last time I talked to you about day one of SyntaxCon. Day two was also just as amazing. Carl put on such an amazing event for something that was done really by one person, along with his sister helping in New Jersey, I believe, and then some incredible volunteers. You really put on an amazing event. So I actually missed a lot of day two. I had some meetings that came up, and then I had the hotel was great. The rooms, oh my God, outlets, super exciting. But the restaurant, not the best. You see, I had to wait about half hour from the time I first asked for a check to the time I was actually able to pay. So that was a little annoying. But anyway, the talks at SyntaxCon were really great. I saw, rather than give you a rundown of everything I saw, let me tell you about just a couple three that I got a lot out of. First, Jen Luger. She works for a company called Formidable Labs, and she had a talk called Styling a React for Reuse. Now, I'm not sure it was the best title for a talk because I'm not really sure how styling React for reuse and what she actually talked about, I don't know how they match up, but it was a fantastic talk. A lot of it was focused on accessibility. Now, this is a topic I do not think about probably enough. Turns out, depending on the metrics that you look at, about 1 in 5 people in the US and maybe even the world have some sort of permanent disability. So one of her thoughts was, if you add a feature to make your product more accessible, you are potentially reaching the additional 20% of the audience. Incredible numbers if you implement the right kinds of features that help reach more folks. So you want to make sure, I think everybody wants to make sure that their product is used by the most number of people. And if you can add, just 1 or 2 features that increase that audience size by an enormous amount, it's just a win for everyone. And she also showed this amazing browser extension I'd never heard of called Axe, and it's from a company called DQ. She showed it with her Amazon store login, so we saw that she really enjoys romance novels. But hey, I'm not here to judge. I am just thankful that she showed us this amazing browser extension. It doesn't just tell you that there are accessibility problems, but rather, here's what the problem is, here's what it means, here's how this affects other people. And so it becomes this amazing educational tool that helps me, as somebody who does not think about this stuff much, helps me understand why I need to implement that other feature, why I need to add a particular tag or attribute to my HTML. So for that alone, I think that was probably one of the most valuable takeaways from the entire conference for me, was just seeing that extension and seeing how it can affect what I do. Another great talk was by Nate Taylor, and he talked about Lambda.js and functional programming using JavaScript. In fact, I just saw on Twitter yesterday about some functional JavaScript sessions that are going on at a different conference by somebody I follow on Twitter. Talking about functional programming now is, I guess, one of the cool things to do. And Nate's talk, I've seen plenty of functional JavaScript talks in the past, but none of them really drove home the benefits like Nate's talk. He got into, his favorite functions, his favorite pieces of Lambda.js, and it got me excited. It got me thinking, I got to play around with this for my own projects and see how it affects things in my own work. So I'm very excited to take what he showed us, the initial nuggets of what he showed us, and use it in my own stuff. So that was amazing. And then the session ended with Scott Hanselman talking about, what did he talk about? I don't really know what he talked about, but it was incredibly entertaining. It was so funny, such a magical talk. Unfortunately, I don't remember what it was about. But he was incredibly funny. It was the last session of any conference should be something to kind of get you back into the real world as a bookend to the conference. And this definitely was. It was incredibly funny, incredibly good, incredibly well timed. Man, this guy's got his timing down, and his talk was spectacular. It would be even better if I remember what it was about. He managed to suck me in, and I think you're just gonna have to wait for the video. All the sessions were recorded. My session was recorded. Jen Luker, Nate Taylor, Scott's talk, everybody's talks were recorded. They did it in a really interesting way. They had these Mevo, I believe it is, Mevo devices, which I knew nothing about other than seeing their ads on YouTube a lot. But they had these Mevo cameras, and they were recording every session. I'd like to find out more about how those work, and maybe we can use them for DevOps Days Boston to record every session. That could be very interesting. So what were the meetings that kind of got in the way for me to attend this event? Well, first off, I had a talk with a partner who runs a meetup, and we talked about what we want to cover in an upcoming meetup. And then I'm in an evangelist team where I work, and one of the things that we do is review presentations that others are going to be delivering at other conferences. Like we have somebody at DockerCon, I think speaking today. And so we review their talks, give them some pointers on how they can make it better, how they can hone in on their message a little bit better, how they can maybe have a less confusing demo, or just get them more to the point and less confusing. It's very tempting the first time you create a presentation to want to try to stuff everything in there. And you really need to simplify. What's that one thing you want to get across? What's the one thing you want to get across? And then how do you do it in a way that makes it personable? If I just hear a bunch of facts and that's it, well, I can read a document for that. I'm listening to you give a presentation. I want to know about why it matters to you. And so you need to bring out your personality in the talk. A talk that has no personality is a boring talk for me. I do not like those types of talks, and I want to see them with that personality. And so that's why I like to try to incorporate stories into my talks. I want to do more stories in my talks. But I try to convince others to provide more story, more connection. Why do I want to listen to this person deliver this talk? And so I think that's really important. So anyway, if you like this video, please click on the like button below. If you like the idea of this vlog, I'm going to try to get into more in-depth content starting soon. I've already got some outlines already worked out, and I'm going to be starting to push these out every week. I think that's the right cadence for me right now. To fit it in with what I do for work, I think I need to do it every week. Click the subscribe button if you want to know more. If you want to follow my videos, I've got some ones on my favorite bag coming up, the Peak Design Everyday Backpack. I've got others about other tools that I like to use. You saw one pretty recently about Hammerspoon. I want to talk more about other things like that. I just spent some time the other day putting together a script to create a project from a template in Todoist. And I wanted to go a little bit beyond what the instructions say. So how do I create a script that renames all my tasks based on the name of the video I'm going to produce? And lots of other interesting videos, interesting content I want to share with you. So click, if you want to find out about those as soon as I produce them, click the subscribe button. It's right down there. There. I think I got the pointing right. Hopefully I'm not on the wrong side. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.